In 2021, early 2021, we started to talk to VCs, pitch the product and everything, and things didn't go well. And I already had experience. I would say like a bad experience talking to VCs, explaining what I want to do, what I want to achieve. And I also sat down with Josipa, which was also a good friend of mine. We met in Palo Alto. I think it was back in 2016 or 17. She was also experienced Silicon Valley founder, but also from the same city as I was and Marco. So I asked also Josipa if she want to join us, and we did couple of those like uh, talks with the VCs and everything, and we was trying to raise a rather small amount, like pretty small amount, like around 300,000 pre-seed money to start everything, which now I see that it's a ridiculous small amount to achieve anything with it. But okay, for the start we wanted to raise at least something, to see if somebody is willing to follow us with this. But time went by and things didn't go well with it, and I said, listen, I know like 2021 is going to be similar to 2017. Crypto is going to be rising again, and I think that we could do an ICO, because not only that we could raise money and use it to build a product, but also I see a very good uh, fit for a token inside our ecosystem, because we're going to build an ecosystem of products which are going to be creating the demand for the token if we find the utility for the token. And I think that we have some amazing utilities for the Revuto token. I already spoke about it in some previous videos, but I'm going to repeat some of them later. So also, this is not the single video, the only video that I'm gonna do. So we're gonna do this in sequence. So I'm gonna try to actually tell you bunch, like very many stories about Revuto and many things about what we want to do. So we're gonna, I'm gonna split this in couple of videos, at least, before we launch, and some videos are gonna be coming out after we launch, because I want to explain also what we want to do in the next half of the year, and especially in 2026 and later as well. So yeah, to get back to crypto, so I spoke with my co-founders and I said, listen, we should, quit with VCs, stop losing time on scheduling those calls, which are long lasting, and then if you are good with the first call, then you need to advance to second call, and it's a long lasting process. Nobody is going to invest in us in next 6 to 9 months, even if they think that there is something about Revuto. So let's try to focus on a token sale, and we actually did that. And now the story about how I came up with launching the token on Cardano. So when I was here in Croatia, I was also trying to meet with people in crypto, and believe it or not, there were like Cardano had a meetups in Zagreb, in my city, and I really have to thank Marin, who was also like a Cardano ambassador at the time, and also tried to launch his own Cardano project. He was good with it, he was gathering people mm, in a city frequently to talk about Cardano blockchain, why it is special, what is going on. And usually around 30 or 40 people would come there. But not only that people would come there, I figured out that there were people working for Cardano directly from our region. I met like a couple of other amazing people, like Nikola Glumac, who was at that time and with his team working on Daedalus wallet. Then I met with Bukashin Vukoje, who was from a neighboring country, but he was also directly working for IOG. and some other people. And besides knowing the people, I was learning about the ecosystem, about the Cardano, how it is different than Ethereum. At the time, there was a lot of arguments, if the Cardano is going to be Ethereum killer. That was the narrative. I was never like uh, I never allowed myself to actually go so deep into those conversations to be political and or to be fanboy of a specific blockchain. But listening to everything and all the differences, and also uh, at that time looking at how costly it is to make a transaction, how costly it was to make a transaction on Ethereum, I said like Cardano is here much better. Cardano was faster, Cardano was much cheaper, and I said, if you wanna allow people to use crypto, to pay for subscriptions, then there is no chance that they're gonna be using Ethereum as a backbone, as a blockchain, supporting blockchain, because transactions are too costly. Um, and somehow, it all came together. Um, it was like early 2021. I already knew that, I want to run things on Cardano. Of course, many people were telling me, you're crazy, don't go there, go run it on Ethereum. There is nothing yet on Cardano. I remember that even in early 2021, you couldn't mint the token on Cardano. I think that around March or something like that, first tokens were minted on Cardano native tokens. But again, no smart contracts, nothing, no exchanges, anything. But still, somehow I just wanted to do it on Cardano, and also saw the opportunity to be among one of the first projects to launch something on Cardano. And specifically also, there was a reason I saw like the competitive advantage between us and everybody else trying to do something on Cardano, especially because I knew that our product is not gonna be necessarily fully decentralized. I knew that we are gonna have like the component which is based on a on a traditional financial instrument, which is a debit card. Then like for a top up, we don't necessarily need, we just need to have working blockchain to be able to send transactions, which Cardano was perfect for that. And yeah, so I decided to run to make ICO on Cardano. But what was even more interesting was that uh, we didn't know how actually to do it. And then I said, I remember that at that time, some, group of people approached us because they heard that we want to launch on Cardano, and they said, there is a launchpad on Cardano for Cardano project, which was called at the time Ocam-Fi, and go there and launch with them. And I said, I did a little research on them, and even we spoke a couple of times. And then I said, but man, gosh, guys, you're not like launching the Cardano tokens. You're pitching that you want to launch like Cardano tokens, but you are actually launching the Ethereum tokens, ERC20 tokens. And I was not happy about it, and I said, no, we're not gonna do it. And if there is nothing else, then we're gonna hire the company or agency to help us to build our own token sale platform within our web page. And we actually did that, with the help of some other, friends which were already working for Cardano. We built a token sale platform where people could actually, do KYC, do everything completely legally, and sign up for our ICO and actually exchange ADA for our token. Besides that, we had amazing referral program which also helped us to gain some traction. People were referring Revuto to their friends to earn some Revu tokens as well, and that picked up very well because crypto was hot. Even many influencers just did videos about us without even us telling them about Revuto, because they just downloaded. At that time, there was no even the app, but they could like log into a web page and get the referral code and use the referral code to onboard a lot of their friends to Revuto, and that's how earn some Revu tokens. And token sale went very, very well. I was overwhelmed with how it went. Um, and to be honest, when we were thinking about how much we want to raise, we were thinking about like 2 to 3 million, then like hard cap 5 million tops. But then, as I was speaking with people and everything and telling them we're gonna run things on Cardano, and they were telling me how I'm nuts, crazy, it's not gonna work, it's not so easy. And I knew that it's not gonna be easy, but I said, if we do everything right, then there's gonna be a chance. And I said, like, what, I want for Revuto to be big, to be huge, and let's do like a $10 million token sell. And when we started to speak with the media and everything, and we said, that we want to go after 10 million, that was newsworthy, especially locally here, and it picked up very fast. It was not something, at least in this region, that happens every time. We scheduled everything for May. Also, I had to say that I was also investing in crypto and everything, and investing my own, I would say, like even like last money that I had from crypto to promote the ICO and to actually pay for everything, cover all those expenses, to build a token sale platform. Um, and the web page, and we had some developers as well that we had to pay for. So I I said, like, yeah, let's go for a 10 million. But what I wanted to say, yeah, that I was anticipating also in a way that market is gonna pick up, but I didn't know that we are gonna hit the perfect time, because we hit, like, with our token sale, the first peak, the first all-time high of the Bitcoin, which was like $63,000 or something like that. And we did, like, it was, I believe it was 18th of May or something like that. I don't know, but it was May when we started the public sale thing. It was a structure in 3 rounds, and believe it or not, like, all 3 rounds went like nothing, in minutes. And afterwards, I told everybody, how I, I just, like, pinch me. I don't believe it, because people were telling me how we are crazy, we are not gonna be able to achieve it. And then I said, guys, we did everything so well, and we timed everything so well, and we I think that we had a really good narrative about, like, a good, we had, like, the product that people could correlate with. We wanted to do something differently in in crypto. We were not strictly about, like, decentralized exchanges, and of course, everybody remains knows about the DeFi summer in 2021, so that was a huge thing as well. NFTs came along, so all those different things. But we were actually, I would say, among, like, a few of those crypto projects that wanted to do something with crypto, but for everybody, for people with the real problem, and solving the real use case. And I believe that that very well resonated with people, with investors, and that helped us to close those rounds very, very fast. As I said, in couple of minutes. And believe it or not, like, we didn't do any deals with crypto native VCs. So we did one deal with the local VC here, which helped us a lot, I would say, because they invested early, and then we reused the funds to put it into marketing and everything. But afterwards, we didn't actually took any money from crypto VCs. When we closed the token sale, I know, like, even, like, after each of those 3 rounds, we were returning money back, because we told people, listen, the round is full, so we sold all the tokens that were reserved for the token sale. But people kept sending us ADA, and we were returning that ADA back the next day. And I remember the week after, I received so many calls and messages and everything from the crypto VCs, asking us if we can sell them more Revu tokens. And I said, I said like we had like a strict plan how much of what is going to be the distribution of the token, or and how the supply is going to go and everything. And I said, like 32% of the total supply was reserved for the token sale, and that's it. We don't want to sell anything. And yeah, it went very well. It very crazy. I remember, after it, we did in early June a small team building, nothing crazy, and it's a funny thing also how people came together to Revuto. So we were growing so fast that I was basically going to with my friends, to some either the meetups or even like the Facebook groups, and I was asking people to jump on board and help us to navigate through all of this, because we had to find community managers and people, answering to support emails and things like that, because we were really, really, really overwhelmed with how many people were interested in Revuto. Altogether, something around 9,000 people invested in us, but 42,000 or something like that actually registered with our token sale platform. That was crazy. I remember that was crazy. And then the first version of the app, the mobile app, we always said that Revolut is going to be a mobile only service, because I strongly believe that only, this is the future. You carry this phone with yourself 24/7. It's literally extension of ourselves, and everything needs to be under our fingertip tips. And also from the security standpoint, I didn't want to build a web-based app, and and be, I know how that goes. If you're building on the two platforms, it's always a difficult thing. So I said, Revolut is going to be mobile app only. And there was like there are two platforms. At the time, also the Huawei was they had like the gallery store, so that was also the thing. So we were building for them as well in the beginning, but we kept everything strictly to Android based app, and the Apple actually to iOS. And yes, in on the first of August, we launched the first mobile app, which allowed people to log in to actually see the balance of their revenue, how much they purchased, in which rounds. We switched or transferred the referral program from web 100% to the mobile app. And then also already in October, we launched non-custodial Cardano wallet. At that time, there was Yoroi. I remember, because people did use Yoroi wallet to also buy our tokens during the token sale. But if I'm not wrong, at the time there was nothing else. Of course, Daedalus was like a full node wallet which we used for our project as well. But besides that, for the mobile devices, there was nothing. I don't even think that there was any other wallet for non-custodial wallet for for Cardano besides ours. Of course, we didn't know how to build everything by ourselves, so we reached out to Vacuum Labs, to people behind the Adalite, and they were also of a great help. They helped us to build the first version of our mobile web, because for us was very, very important that we can actually distribute Revu tokens to our app inside our ecosystem. But also, why was that is also important, because to be frank, if we didn't do that, we would not be able to actually send those tokens anywhere else, and that was a huge problem. My I I think at least that I did a couple mistakes during the ICO, because the lockup period for the the public sale was too short. after the token sale, it was only 3 months, meaning that already in September, we had to start releasing those tokens. And then we said, like, in next 3 months we're going to release those tokens. So that means between September and December we had to release a lot of tokens to our users. And we didn't know, how we're going to be able to do that because on Cardano nothing was available. Cardano did had like a fork in early September. That was the time when the ADA hit $3, and things were picking up heavily on Cardano. But still, that was the time when the first smart contracts came to Cardano, and still there was nothing working operational. There, nothing, like even like a decentralized exchange, and not only that, but also other centralized exchanges. Nobody of them didn't support the Cardano token. They had ADA, listed ADA, but that didn't help us. And yeah, I remember, so we were trying really to be fast, to be fast. That was also one of the reasons why we didn't build in the beginning internal in-house team. So we wanted to be very quick, very agile. So we hired agencies, or we kept the agencies that we were working with. But that was a not good decision, because agencies, not only that they're not very efficient, so they're slow. You pay a lot of people there also, which you basically don't need. They always put like the product manager on the team, the Q&A, quality assurance tester, designer, and whatever. But we just needed the developers. That was always my focus. So yeah, so that was a mistake, I would say. And also one of the mistakes was, people, when we, and I knew that that's gonna happen, like people, when we started to release the tokens, people started to trade with those tokens, but they started to trade between themselves, and people were scamming people. They would send Revu tokens to somebody, and expect that they're gonna get ADA back, but they didn't, so they were scammed, and then they accused us of, bad, that how we did things wrong, and I knew that that's gonna happen. So this is the first time that I was actually listening to the community. Not the first time, we were always listening to the community, but this time that was the first mistake that we did by listening to the community, because we were under very, very huge pressure. And then I said, let's try to help them, and let's open the Discord channel and help them to trade those tokens. So we're gonna act as some kind of like intermediary, and we had the people who were like 24/7 there. We will, in a way, somehow like an escrow for them, and people were starting trade. They started to trade the Revu tokens, and I'm not gonna tell the number, but it was a huge number, big volume of Revu tokens that was traded there. And I know, like, the people, even my friends, when they saw what he did, and they didn't believe me, before they wanted to buy tokens afterwards. And I told them, okay, listen, go to the Discord channel or talk to this guy, and he's gonna help you to find somebody who is willing to sell you Revu tokens, because we were not willing to sell them Revu tokens. And the price went up, like up to 30, 40 cents, even 50 cents. People like were willing to buy it, because they were, everything was like even like late 2021 was like the time when there was a second peak of the Bitcoin, and everything went crazy, and people were willing to risk and invest in crypto, and they did the same with Revuto, and I couldn't do anything about it. Okay, of course, I did like it, because I was, of course, happy about the fact that people want to buy more Revu tokens. But I also, in a way, knew, what we could expect, um, uh, what could happen, if we let everybody actually buy token like that, and then when we list, there's not gonna be demand. The all demand is gonna be spent, or not all, but like decent chunk of a demand buying tokens via that setup, which in a way created uh, bubble market for a Revo token. But again, we were under huge pressure, because I also have to, mention that on 24th of September, I think that was the date. I'm good with numbers. So that was the date when we signed with the KuCoin. And that was a huge thing, because we paid a lot. We pitched to them, we were really pushing them hard to list Cardano native token. And they agreed to do that somehow. And then also we approached to Gate.io, and also we were speaking with Bitmart came to us, because I knew that they are not a good exchange, but they were much cheaper than Gate, and especially than KuCoin. And there were some negotiations with the Bitrue and some other exchanges, which I knew that they don't provide much value when it comes to how many users they can bring, and new token holders. So, but the thing was that we got promise from KuCoin that we're gonna get listed in October or November the latest, and I'm 100% sure that if that happened somehow, and I know that at the time also our team went to Dubai. We were presenting Revuto to first blockchain conferences there. We received some awards there. So everything was going into right direction, but the only thing that was lacking was listing with the KuCoin and Gate. And that was the first time also that people started to FUD us. Maybe not the first time, they were FUDing us. Many people since already we did an ICO, because of course the expectation is always very high, and people are greedy and they want to earn as soon as possible. That's why they were also like pushing us to deploy those tokens, to release those tokens to them, to their wallets as soon as possible. And then of course they found out that they cannot do anything with those tokens. So they were pushing us to find a way how to trade those tokens. And I remember that pressure was tremendously high already in December, because December was always, we were waiting, we were promised then, like we were hoping that they're gonna list us KuCoin and Gate in December, but that didn't happen as well. And maybe my mistake was also that we wanted to list on the same day with the two exchanges. Gate was ready before, and we could list with Gate sooner. I think that Ardana did list with Gate or something like that, and they did amazingly well. I think that they did 20x or something above the listing price. Also, our listing price, we could choose to be listed at $1, 10x from the public sale. But also I wanted to be fair, and I said, let's list at the same price where the public sale was, and let's see how the token is gonna perform. But basically what happened, so we got listed on 7th of January 2022, and I remember that day was the first day when Bitcoin went below 40K after a long period of time. And that was like somehow the day when we entered the bear market.